It is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Shit.
Because people are only focused on the flower to say no, it's weed.
But there's so much more to do.
They're even making bricks now, hemp bricks, which are 10 times better than actual
normal
bricks.
Yeah.
They're even heat resistant, you know what I mean? So there's a lot people can do.
I mean,
when
even
it comes
hemp.
to hemp, yeah. You can make candles, clothes,
everything.
bricks, anything. You can make literally anything. So it's a much broader industry than just, you know, the weed.
The flower. Yeah.
You've just stepped into An Empty Street, a podcast where we casually engage in difficult conversations about relationships, wealth, and health. We are just three curious gentlemen who ask questions almost about everything, and our aim is to find answers from others and within ourselves. We sit down every week to explore unaltered conversations. So let's walk the talk together, and welcome to the Empty Street podcast.
In 3,
2,
1. Rolling. Welcome to the Empty Street podcast.
we back.
With another one, man.
Another Tuesday,
Another week.
another day.
Nathi alikhohli la it's your cue, you know, it's another week. But
Yeah.
welcome back to another
Episode.
another week. And we are not walking alone today. We are walking with a guest. We'll let you introduce yourself.
now my name is Nceba. Some of you know me as Jackson, you know. But yeah, I'm here to help out the gents here in terms of the cannabis knowledge, you know. But yeah, Nceba.
Thanks for joining us today. We probably would have been somewhere else today, but thanks for taking the time to chill with us and walk with us just for a few minutes, you know, on this interesting topic we have installed for today. So just jumping right into it so I don't waste too much time. I'd like us to unpack, like, a lot of people have already spoken about the cannabis industry in South Africa, right? But I feel like there's just from the bottom up, we haven't really heard much. We always hear it from people either in government or politicians and all of that, but from the people that are on the ground, you know, we haven't heard that perspective. Or if we have, it hasn't been heard loud enough. You know, so today I just want us to touch on a few topics and then unpack them, and then we move. So I'll start it off with something I just came across, an article I came across, and it stated that according to like the World Health Organization, it's like our country, South Africa, is like the third largest illegal cannabis producers in like the world. I don't know what your take on that is, but maybe we can start there. And I just found that interesting, you know, considering that like there's so many countries in the world, how we are ranked third when there's Amsterdam, there's the US, and Lesotho, your Swaziland, all these other countries, you know, but we are like third amongst all these others. Like, I don't know if there's any light that could be shed on that.
I think part of it is the regulation. You know, most of these countries have the quote-unquote war on drugs or all of that. So the people in the rural areas who have acres and acres of land, just there's no helicopters flying overhead. You know what I mean? So they can just do as they please. Yeah, basically. But basically, to just make a long story short, cannabis has been there. There's people who've gone to university. Like, they just grow weed. One of my older uncles, my mom's uncle, he was even on the news actually when they were talking about giving out licenses at Port St. John's for. He's been growing cannabis. What I said earlier off camera, like the Europeans who come here leave seed for farmers and all of that. That's basically what's going on. in the rural areas. It's not that they're the largest. We're the third largest grower. There's an incentive to do so. You know what I'm saying? And
like
minimal regulation.
Like based on what you were saying, that like Europeans would come to our country and leave seeds.
Yes.
Like would they then pay for using the land to actually cultivate, for us to cultivate for them?
Yes.
Or is it just like an exchange of
Nah,
hands?
they'll leave the
to get a
seed.
share?
They'll leave the seed, and then the people who have the land will grow. And then when it's ready,
We
they're
share
gonna
the
come
harvest.
pick it up, and they'll pay. They'll
okay.
leave.
So they
definitely-
Is
take-
it the people who have licenses to cultivate legally, or
not even.
so basically they are contributing as
To the
well
illegal-
to the illegal part of
Basically,
cultivating.
because like there's families, like I said, that are well known in these rural areas, that are well known as cannabis growers. The great grandfather, the father, everyone just grew cannabis.
Yeah.
So when these Europeans are looking for growers, because it's called strain hunting. So when they're looking for these land races and whatnot, once they find a farmer who's got the infrastructure that they like, they'll say, no, listen, grow this. They'll give them, whether it's blueberry, whether it's cheese, whether it's whatever.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, grow this. When it's ready, we'll come pick it up. And, you know.
But for me, I feel like if they feel like, especially if it's noticed on a global scale,
Yes.
I mean, World Health Organization, this word, WHO, let me
Yes.
just abbreviate it. They are a global organization, you know. So if they can notice that South Africa is is moving so many products of cannabis, you know, why then doesn't our government look into that and say, you know what, well, they're already doing it, but
Yes.
it's like, even though they're looking into it, it's like it's only benefiting a few, you know. So what I'm trying to say is, like, since they already know this knowledge, they have this knowledge that, okay, well, clearly we're producing like large amounts of cannabis.
Okay.
Why don't we then take this money, put it into our economy? We're struggling as it is, dude. We can put it somewhere instead of us now going and making huge amounts of loans in these neighboring countries, or just countries that are in Brexit, you know, your China and all of that.
Capitalize on what
Yeah,
we already
use what
have.
we already have.
You know what's crazy? Like the first year that America kind of decriminalized it in a way, they made about 5.6 billion. They added 5.6
Just
billion.
on that industry alone.
Just cannabis. The states where it was legal, they have dispensaries, they have,
The
they
whole
made
thing.
5.6 billion total, like that year. That was added to the GDP. Just
Well,
off
you know, it
of,
is a $1 billion
it is a
industry.
multi-billion-dollar industry.
Shit.
Because people are only focused on the flower to say,
Yeah,
no, it's
yeah,
weed.
but there's so much more
There's
to
a
do.
black
with
that
it.
are- They're even making bricks now, hemp bricks, which are 10 times better than actual
normal
bricks,
brick, yeah.
They're even heat resistant, you know what I mean? So there's a lot people can do.
I mean,
when it
even
comes to
hemp.
Hemp, yeah. You can make candles, clothes,
Yeah, everything.
bricks, anything. You can make literally anything. So it's a much broader industry than just, you know, the weed.
The flower, yeah.
It's a lot you can actually do with it. You know what I'm saying? Even medicinally.
Yeah.
Epilepsy,
Yeah.
you know, obesity, all these like huge
Which actually, yeah, which-
pandemics. It aids a lot.
Which actually brings me to my next question, Mimoti. Like, I think that is how, that's how it was actually introduced into our country, through medicinal uses. You know, it wasn't like allowed to just be consumed at a large scale, but when it was first introduced, like, okay, we can first look at how people treated like for medicinal uses, and then from there it then moved to, okay, people can now plant a small amount in their backyards or whatever, and they can smoke it within their private properties. But it sounds like there's still like hindrances in between. It's not letting us like consume it or just participate in.
I
Just
think the contentious issue, ne? The contentious issue when it comes to, because it's two things, it's THC and it's CBD.
CBD, yeah.
Now medicinally, CBD is more recognized in terms of the properties than THC, which is the component that actually makes you high.
Yeah.
CBD doesn't make you high. THC is more associated with, you know, psychosis, all this different stuff. like ukuva masemakhaya uchaya intsangu uzophambana.
Yeah.
It's that's more associated with the THC side. Now there's a lot of research that's happening now with THC because they've actually found that it's got anesthetic properties. You know what I'm saying? It can
So it's an anesthesia type. They can use it as
yes.
you know,
THC, like there's no pain. Like they actually they're exploring
is that
yeah.
like based on the dosage though? Or the type?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Nah, I wouldn't say it's
No
based-
problem. You can go on. You can go on. No
I
problem.
wouldn't say it's a dosage thing because I mean a joint is a joint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more a thing of if we let the general public, because there's people who have mental health issues that they don't even know about.
Yeah.
Going back to the psychosis, which is triggered by a high THC content, you know what I mean? But when it comes to the CBD though, the CBD, there's no question that is fully medicinal for a lot of
illnesses.
a lot of things that are happening. Yes,
There's a lot of benefits.
there's a lot of benefits from. So if you have an epileptic kid, seizures, go get you some CBD oil, yabo, and see.
yeah, like you're right, Claudia, the general public is not exposed to these things. Like a normal human being, like a normal Joe wouldn't know. Like there's the stereotype that's surrounding
Weed.
Yes.
Like it's just there to make you high, then that's it. And then like you don't want to go there. You don't want to associate yourself with people who smoke weed. And then it ends there. That's the main function that people know weed is for, just to get high and maybe slacken the community. Be a slack in the community. So there's that stereotype. And now when we come, or someone comes to say, hey, there's this benefits. We can extract CBD, we can extract THC from it, so that it has
not to cut
these
you off.
benefits.
There's even THCV. They found THCV like in Congo. That the land, because in Spain, there's a land races are like strains that have been there forever and ever and ever, like untampered with. So they even found in Congo, like the weed over there, most of it has 1% THCV, which is unheard of because THCV, it eliminates the hunger aspect, the munchies.
The munchies.
You don't have munchies if you've had that THCV. You know what I'm saying? You can smoke. You don't feel hungry.
Yeah.
And they're actually exploring that now. Diabetes, obesity, all these ills. They're exploring now to say, okay, what can THCV do? They're even trying to make pills, I think, that people can take. You just take that capsule.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So, like you guys are saying, medicinally, man, it's unlimited.
But
the potential.
as you were saying now, with that stereotype of it, I think it's also like being in an enclosed environment where all you see is just how it treats these particular people, you know, and how they treat it also. Yeah. So when your folks pass them and like, nah, you want sit at the corner and just smoke weed. So it's those kind of like
but you know
stereotypes.
what I always say, like I was in Makaya like not too long ago, like June, and I rolled, you know what I'm saying, I don't know if I can show the people.
Now you can if you want to show.
I rolled one of these. I was just sitting under the tree rolling this thing. And the people are like, yo, is it I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, because they used to a white
they're
right?
used to
a white,
people who are just,
white paper or newspaper.
Hey, which I'd say, we kind of contribute to that because we don't care.
True, that's what I'm saying, like how we treat it.
We don't care as consumers as well, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Whereas if we did, you know, people, this is more respectable than
than a normal.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Something rolled with the
I think
yellow pages.
We have that responsibility as users to show people like, no, listen,
it's not.
This thing is not, you know,
and you can still show up.
Give it some class.
You know
you can still show up. You can still get things done. You know,
but that's where people need to understand
which
sativa,
which
indica,
is different,
hybrid. It's not the same thing. If you smoke an indica before you go to work, you will get to work.
Guaranteed your day is done. Guaranteed your day is done. Guaranteed.
So you have to understand as well. Okay, cool. This is sativa.
Indica.
It's an energetic kind of high.
Sure.
This is an indica. This is wheelchair weed. You know?
Yeah.
And just one hybrid is
a bit of
a
both.
blend of both. Yeah. It can be 60-40. It can be 50-50. 70-30.
Yeah.
But it's got both properties in there. You know what I mean?
But how long do they last?
And it depends, bro.
You
like
mean
for me, for
in-
instance,
like you mean after
After intake in a system.
I think it
8 months,
differs.
up to like
depends on someone. and their intake.
But I know that a month to get it out of your bloodstream.
yeah, it's as
man,
much as
yeah.
long as like a year and a half, even. You know what I mean? Depending on the system yakho as a person, but it definitely stays.
Because remembering a cookie. That is but I writing a video. Remember?
Okay.
Yeah, I speak cookies around 10 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you mean the duration of the high?
You're talking about edibles?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You see, once you make
It's raw.
an edible,
there.
Yeah.
it's no longer the same as smoking a joint. That's a different type of.
So it's smoking, it goes through your lungs. I don't know
Yes.
the process, but it goes through your
Now,
lungs.
when you
and
smoke
then
it,
when you eat
immediately,
goes through your bloodstream
you know what I'm saying? Your
to the
brain,
head.
the cannabinoids, the cannabinoid receptors in your brain, all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's much quicker when you smoke.
Yeah,
now,
it
when you
goes to the
eat,
head still.
you have to digest certain things. Like
That's why it kicks in late.
Yeah, get into your bloodstream. Yeah, but
It
now
takes
it's a
it takes
different-
time to kick in.
Yeah, it does take time.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was 10 p.m. Then after an hour, then it started to kick in.
Some people it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
Some
No,
people
after
it's
an
like,
hour, then because
Oh, if
in
you have a
thing
catalyst,
12,
yeah.
Yeah.
12, then I started feeling it.
Yeah.
Then I slept.
Nah,
When I
that's
wake up
different.
in the
Once you
morning,
have an
still,
edible,
I was
man.
still high.
Now edibles are a lot different to smoking.
Yeah.
And they can be dangerous as well because then you think,
Yeah.
thing is not
Nah,
working.
edibles are very dangerous.
Yeah.
and then you take another
And it's
one.
nice. It's nice.
I remember back in high school, there was this other chick. She was part of the hospitality class.
Okay.
So she liked cooking, baking, and all of that. So this other time, I think she baked a whole batch of space muffins. And then what happened is she came to school with them. I think we were writing English, I think paper 2 or something. So she comes with it, I just have half. Then I'm eating with now. Something's happening. You know what I'm talking? And then this other gent, he takes 2 full muffins, bro. Yo, 2 full muffins, dog. Next thing we hear, niggas admitted he's been unconscious for like 2 weeks, dog.
Whoa.
He was out cold, dog. They actually wanted to open a case against him. It was a big thing, dog. It was a big
Yeah,
thing.
ntwana i-question engibengiyiphethe bengithi le nto isitori esishoyo
Yeah.
suppose i-question bengizoyibuza yabo ukuthi don't you think ukuthi the more i-weed, the actual weed le uyiphethe iba converted kuzo zonke lezi zinto
To edibles.
yes then ziba sweet ziba mnandi don't you think ukuthi yenza i-danger kubantu ukuthi then
Abayizwa.
overdose.
But that's the thing.
should know your
There's
dosage.
dosages. Like
Yeah, you should know your
once it's
dosage.
legal, you have to declare. Okay, cool. This is a box of cookies. We have 28 cookies in here. Each cookie is 50 milligrams.
Direction of use as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 50 milligrams THC. Now, as a person, you know about, okay, cool. I need about, 30, 40 milligrams on average to like have a... You won't finish that cookie, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have one. And that's going to be it, you know what I mean? Whereas if it's unregulated as it is now, it's
just
going to be
do
more,
it, yeah.
more of the story.
What
you know
happened,
I'm saying,
yeah,
where
what happened.
People don't know. You
just
gonna have
throw
4
in a whole
muffins,
bag.
You can have the whole bag of chips. You can
Yeah.
have, you know what I'm saying, the whole gummy bear thingy. Because
Even the person making
dosages.
it just throws in
Yeah,
whatever
the people who are
amounts.
making it, nah, but they don't know.
No
Yeah,
measurements.
they don't measure. They just make it.
And not even knowing what type of weed they are putting in there.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's that's why if the government actually, picked up the pace in terms of making
Regulating
sure that,
it.
you know what I mean, all of us have access.
Yeah, and
Those
another
things
thing
will
is
be-
like when it's converted or being used for medicinal purposes, it's like we are going to be behind as a country because it's not like someone went to school and studied how to do these extractions or how to create these products that are gonna be beneficial to certain diseases or
Illnesses.
benefit people in a certain way. Like I don't think there's courses.
Yeah,
that
because they would
people
obviously
done.
have to tap into that
There
industry
actually is.
itself.
There actually
Actually,
is.
here in
There's
South
here in Rivonia.
Oh, you were
It's called
speaking about
Nceba,
that
yeah.
school, no? You were
It's
speaking
called
about that
Nceba.
school.
Nceba. CHEEBA.
Oh,
It's the only cannabis university in Africa. They're based here in Rivonia. It's
You
actually
said
the
you're having an
day
open day
Yeah,
today,
it's
Mr.
actually open day today.
Because I remember you were suggesting
It's
that
the
we
only-
actually go
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So my concern was noise, control.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
But
noise control.
there's
yeah.
actually one right now in Rivonia. Nceba, they do all kinds of cultivation, the edibles, all of that stuff. They
That
actually
is
do
dope.
the education.
That is
You
dope.
can go there.
That is dope.
It's a
We're
12
moving
feet,
in the
12
right
feet long
direction.
course, so you learn everything.
Yeah, because that's another thing I was worried about, that we still gonna be falling back. We're gonna be behind when it comes to us being the ones who create those products. Like us being the ones who are going to sell to people instead of being the ones who are consuming whatever
What we're
are
doing
giving.
is
Because that's where the
growing and
danger is as
importing.
well. There's a lot of contaminated weed out there, especially like overseas. It's getting bad now, you know what I'm saying? Cases of schizophrenia increasing, all that. And that's kind of what happens when you let the machine take
Do all
over,
the
sort of,
work.
you know what I'm saying? Because it's like what happened with the meat. Demand became a lot. They started injecting plants with, animals with steroids and all this stuff that's not good for you.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing now with cannabis. There's no way you can satisfy that demand as a single entity.
Producer,
There's no way. There's absolutely.
You just have to open up the market, bro.
You know, people need to collaborate more as well. You know what I'm saying? This competition thing, just collaborate. You know what I mean? Come together.
I think especially in our country, since it's still something small, collaboration is definitely needed.
But now these bigger
Industries.
they're collaborating. You know what I'm saying? It's not just one person. It's people who come together.
So they're collaborating amongst each other. But now, what about the people at the bottom of the barrel? Which is what I was saying. That like I wanted to ask. Like since now we have this so-called bill now, right? That's okay. We can use a certain amount for medicinal uses. We can use a certain amount of THC or CBD for other products, right? But now, what about the black market? Like, are people actually thinking that? Because now, if you're gonna sell or you're gonna issue out licenses to people, and you put it at a large amount, you were saying, what is the license even for? You know, even that, it's a barrier, though. Because you already know that not everyone's going to tap into this. And if you want to put it in 1 million plus, then definitely then that market even shrinks even more. You know,
So
so
it's like
then
gatekeeping an industry that
exactly
can
an,
make a huge change in
an
the
industry that
country.
can help everyone's lives, bro.
Yeah.
Those people
Yeah.
can change the lives, their lives and the lives of people to come, generational, bro. You know, but it's not like we're gonna keep it close knit. We're gonna keep it close knit so that we feed each other. But what happens to the black market? We still arrest them. We still do this.
And
we do
that is actually the problem now with us. The communication breakdown between government and law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the things I always tell people. Like, okay, cool, there is a bill, but if police catch you with something, you won't tell them that there's a bill.
Exactly.
They'll be like,
You can't reason with them.
You're never in, you
Yeah,
know what I
we'll
mean?
talk at the station.
Yeah, you understand. So that's one of the bigger problems. Law enforcement, even if they do know, they still, as long as there's no president who was on TV saying, listen guys, this is what it is, then you know what I'm saying. No matter how much you read and how much you know,
They don't care.
they don't really care. They'll come to your house, they'll cut your trees down, they'll do all of that. You know
They'll
what I'm
take
saying?
it all. They'll take it all.
So there's still a long way to go when it comes to like mitigating that gap between, you know what I'm saying, legal and
Illegal.
the black market, yeah. But the black market won't go anywhere.
Anywhere
in the world there's a black market.
I don't. Yeah, with
There's-
anything,
It
with
won't go.
even clothing, bro. Even with clothing,
It's even bigger actually.
with clothes.
Yeah. Than actual clothes. People are buying bootlegs.
The bootlegs will be
You
the
understand?
thing. Bootlegs will be the thing.
You're
man.
right. It's not.
So with anything, there's always going to be a black market because people don't want to open up these industries, and then they frown when people now start creating their own markets. You know, it's like, why are you creating that? But you want to eat alone. What am I supposed to do? Starve.
You understand?
If I don't do this, then I'm gonna consider crime. And obviously, you don't want me to come knocking at your door. I'm not even gonna come knocking, though.
You understand?
You know.
I'm jumping
So
the wall, yeah.
So we complain that crime is at a high rate. But we don't want to open up doors. We don't want to create. It's there. It's right in front of our eyes. It's right in front of our eyes.
And
though.
it works.
It works.
I can say this like with absolute certainty.
People are growing their own. dude.
Everyone smokes weed, guys.
People are growing their own.
Everybody participates.
Even in people who at work.
Judges, lawyers,
Bonke.
everybody.
Zonke.
So it's not, as taboo as we'd like
It
to
used to be.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not.
That's what I'm saying. And even if it was still taboo, it's because of how our folks grew up seeing it. You know how
Having the negative effects.
yes on people, you know, and how they treated it, as we were saying earlier, that how the users themselves treat it. You know, I mean, now it's like if you, all of us here, no one would assume that you guys are users, you know. But it's because how we carry ourselves also. Someone else, just because you see them standing by the corner or sitting there or whatever, they're like, no, Chinese. Just because of how they look, and they could not even be. It couldn't even be the
Something
case.
else.
It couldn't even be the case. But because of how it's like
the stereotype.
Yeah, it's a stereotype that was just formed in their heads that okay, these people that smoke this look a certain way, and there's no discussion, there's no in betweens. You know, but we passed that. We are way past that. I think it's been probably more than a decade now. We passed that whole thing. It was okay. People only that smoke weed or cannabis roll with yellow pages or rip pages out.
That exercise book.
I mean,
Newspapers,
dude, I remember even at school, I remember niggas was ripping out, which is, it's blasphemous, dog. Ripping out Bibles, dog.
It's actually the same material as it.
Why
dude.
China?
No,
Bible.
I know a nigga. I know a nigga who's done that. Like, he's from Kenya, so whatever Bible they use, the Kenya, like he takes it out. Dog, but come on, man.
That speaks to the quality. You understand?
Yeah.
If you're smoking actual weed, the paper's gonna burn off.
Yeah.
The way it's supposed to. You're actually gonna be dropping it on the floor. You won't
So it's going to waste because the
More
paper
like-
burns way quicker.
You understand? The weed they're smoking, it's that Louis Kashagosho voltage.
Powder.
You understand?
Yeah, it's powder.
Which is not really good for you. You know what I'm saying? It's bad for your lungs and all of that. You actually have to, get proper papers for actual weed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy. You were mentioning something earlier off camera about like how the industry of cannabis is moving towards more like branding, and how that like sets you apart from everything else that's on, because it's obviously a saturated industry also.
Yes.
You find bags at every corner these days. So how do you then set yourself apart and make sure that you stand above the rest, basically?
I mean, once you have your clientele, you know what I mean, then naturally, like the second step to that is the quality of your own product, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The consistency. So if you have your clientele, you know what they like. That's what, you know what I'm saying, you focus on, putting forward. And people refer you to other people. This is the guy.
Yeah, because of how you actually push your
understand,
shit.
So branding will help people in that case. That if someone else says they have the same thing you do, and that person buys it, they go out there. It's not it. It's like gummy bears. There's Maynards. There's all these,
Wheelers
but
and all
everyone naturally gravitates towards Maynards. You know what I
Because
mean?
they know.
They know.
Sure.
It won't be tasting funny or so. It's the same
Anything
thing.
else.
That's what's gonna
Brand
happen.
loyalty.
Exactly. That's what's gonna start happening with cannabis. If your brand is associated with quality and that consistency, you won't really have problems like that.
And this obviously goes with like, you can't really be selling like Reggie,
But that's what I'm saying. People will still sell Reggie, but they'll give it names of
names.
things that actually, you know what I'm saying, are respected. So I can still sell my Reggie and I'll call it Durban Poison. And the person who's buying, they don't have time to look at this thing.
Yeah, they just take it as what you're pushing it.
And then when they get home,
It's not the case. You're still waiting for that night to kick.
And then you roll another one. And
Still,
you understand?
5 down and you're still waiting.
So that's where the branding is actually
Comes
going
in.
to.
Set you
People, I know, okay, this pack, yole, naranjan. So that's where it's definitely going to come into effect.
And I think that also helps with like, I mean, taking away the stereotypes.
Yes.
I mean, if you zotengisa your stuff in these bags or in shady packaging, people are gonna be suspicious about it. And even if I just bought from you and I have it,
You have to
and
hide
then
it now.
I have to hide it now, or if someone sees it, it's like something is shady out there. But if it's this well packaged product,
They don't even wanna
and
pick it
then
up.
people can trust it or can. I mean, it can be seen as something normal.
Yeah, because of how you present it.
Yeah.
Because of how, I mean, even this, if it came in, I don't know, something else, then you wouldn't like it. Or actually, a good
in a
example would be,
baggie,
actually like cigarettes. If you had to, and that's why they even took it out of magazines. It's because of how they were pushing it. They were glorifying how. Like if you look at, you remember a Camel box? It used to be brown.
The old one with an actual camel.
With an actual camel.
Yeah.
You don't find those anymore. Now it's switch and it's looking all nice. Now you know all of that. So it's those kind of stuff that you're actually
Even
talking
the taste.
about.
The taste
Yeah,
is
even the
different.
taste with all of that. So it's like if you actually present it in a certain way, then it might even be acceptable to society. You know. But I mean, with cannabis itself, dude, it does way less harm than this, and that has been tested and proven.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
It does way less harm than a lot of things, even regular painkillers. You know what I mean? No one, you develop an addiction to grandpa. There's no addiction to this. It's like
You can let it go whenever.
The people who are you look at and say, it's because I was lala fair.
That's just in that person.
They're insomniac.
That's just in there.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's what helps.
So basically, this replaces the sleeping pill.
Sure, that's
You know
what
I'm saying?
helps.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't look at people who have
appetite
and
And there's obviously pills for stuff like this.
There's pills,
Yeah.
but they're harmful. Side effects, all these things.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's
you don't
fine
even
print.
know what's in there.
It's
There's
fine
a bunch
print.
of stuff.
Yeah, it's just
You know what I
all
mean?
concussion.
This, it's simple. Yeah, like that, whatever you want, it's gonna happen. If no hoja, uzoja. If no lala, uzolala. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple.
Sure.
No side
that's
effects,
straight
no
to the
nothing.
point. That's
Yeah.
straight to the point.
You know what I mean?
And then there's also, I've experienced with my usage is like if I go like months without smoking, I'd start dreaming again. But if I go back, then I don't dream.
Yeah,
You know what
same
it is?
here.
I don't dream.
Now, that's one of the parts where I can agree with certain scientists in terms of the cons.
Yeah.
There's this thing called REM sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The levels of sleep you don't
REM,
reach.
REM sleep.
Yeah.
How to figure out REM sleep.
Yeah. Rapid eye movements.
You understand? You don't really get
So you don't
REM
get to the
sleep.
deep state.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. Some people actually, abanye ibasa straight to that.
To that place.
For the most part, it really does because of the effects. I feel we cannabinoid receptors are on the level. Yeah, so there I could say, okay, cool. There's a point when they say, sleeping habits and all of that.
But even with that though, I'm not complaining. You
Yes,
know,
for sure.
I think it's from a usage perspective. Which, okay,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
do you feel?
That's what I was gonna
yeah.
say, Guti. Then that's where you are advised not to like consume
Yeah,
it. On
it's probably a
regular basis.
dosage. Yeah, it's probably a
but on
dosage
corner,
thing.
yes,
It's
yes,
probably a
yes.
dosage thing.
Yes.
And then when they come, they come hard. They loosen.
You
dog.
know,
They
for sure.
loosen.
Get
boy.
everything.
They loosen. dog.
Yeah. I've experienced that as well. Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy.
So now we should say maybe the government should, it's one of the things they should pay attention to.
For sure. Besides the economical benefits.
Yeah.
Just generally, health-wise,
Yeah.
across the country. Hey, interesting, I was reading. There's things that we weren't even in the top 10 list of, like 15 years ago. We're top 5 now. You know what I'm saying? Things like obesity, things like, some mental health
Issues, yeah.
Certain disabilities, like we're coming up, you know what I'm saying? And these are things with the taboo, but we didn't know. I didn't know about, leukemia and all this stuff. This is stuff I just learned about. And not to say there's anything we can do about leukemia, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's like things that are slowly picking up
There's
in the
things
country.
that we are now suffering a lot from that we didn't even have problems with back
in the day.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say, what you guys were saying about the discrimination towards Israel and all of this other stuff, natural medicine, in fact, yonke in general, that's one of the catalysts for what's happening now. You know what I'm saying with people in terms of their health. But
like when you were mentioning, that's actually interesting. Like an interesting point you made, that like probably like a decade ago, whenever like we weren't part of a certain list, you know,
we weren't even
and,
there.
and then now it's like we slowly going through these things that
And the studies are still ongoing.
yeah,
still
and it's still ongoing.
yeah.
Like
We're not reaching everyone.
Even things like obesity, bro. That you can just straight up look into the food we're eating. Dog. That one you can easily just take it from that. Like you were saying about the processed foods and stuff, or the injections that they're putting in just to multiply
to meet that demand.
Because
they've got us all in the
yes.
cities now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are away from natural producers. Emakhaya, uyazi umntwana onenkomo ezininzi, uyazi umntwana onegusha
Yeah.
ezininzi, you know what I'm saying? Even now where you have, you know, your 30
own
something
plants.
sheep,
Yeah.
your 12 cows ending, you know what I mean? So they discourage that through urbanization. No, you know, go to Joburg, go get a job, go get. Now when you're here, usatya the way usatya ngakhona
Sure.
back home. Qha ngoku ipapa yakho ayingqushwanga.
You're adopting
Yeah,
now.
I'm told, like, you
the
had to
city
go
standards.
get maize meal, you had to
Sure.
go. And honestly, you don't know what's in that stuff.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's
Yeah.
business.
Yeah,
and
it's
I mean
business.
it's business.
Yeah,
Exactly,
definitely
you know what I
business. They're not gonna say no. This is this. They just keep pushing.
They're even changing. It's no longer GMO now. They don't write GMO on
Is
it.
it?
They write biologically, what is it?
And make it sound okay now.
Biologically, I forget the word, but it's biologically something. You guys are gonna look it up. But they don't write GMO anymore.
Because
it's a negative connotation.
it's gonna
Everyone
scare
knows
people,
what GMO means.
It's gonna scare
And
people.
they don't want to
off.
see that.
Yeah, it's gonna
so
scare
they've
people
changed
off.
the GMO now.
And it's business.
But it's still the same thing. Yeah.
I saw there were ads. I think it's even on radio. There's radio ads even on TV though. Recently I saw. I don't know if it's just on cereal, but there's this ad that's going around about they should actually say what's inside these products. Like your cereal and stuff. We were having an episode the
Ingredients.
other day and talking about the
Yes.
sugars and everything that they put in cereals and stuff, you know. So like I feel like that was something we were supposed to have from the
long time
get-go.
ago,
You know,
yeah.
and packaging should state. It shouldn't just tell me the energy, the saturated sugars, and all of this, but tell me the other stuff, the fine print, bro. Put it on there.
It's the
Now it's gonna
MSGs,
affect their
all this other stuff.
Yeah,
banks now. That's the
it
thing.
will. But what about us? What about our health?
But that's the thing. When your country is mostly big business, you don't have a
They
chance.
put it. Morality is put
You
aside.
don't have a chance,
Yeah.
bro. There's no nobility in business. You know what I'm
So
saying?
in your package,
Yeah.
you have an ingredient.
Nah, it's just what it is. I don't really sell edibles like that.
Yeah.
I don't really sell, you know, the oils. I know people who have them, but I'll be like, not for me yet, because the processes, you know, the pressing, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out the best way to
get into that.
I don't really, how can I say? I can't support something I don't do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have to also, you know,
Tap
if I
into that
use
market.
oils, then it means I know exactly how those oils come
Work.
about. If I use certain things, I know exactly, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna give umuntu ngayazi you and you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you taster now.
Yeah, but
Kalago ekal.
yeah, with me, it's just, you know, mostly flour.
Okay.
That's what I can tell people, like, okay, cool. Learn about flour, learn about, you know what I'm saying, the different phenotypes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is probably off topic, but it's just the continuation of what we were talking about in terms of GMOs and everything. Another product, chickens.
Yes.
Chickens are grown
Poultry.
like under poultry is grown under UV light, so they're constantly deceived that it's just daytime constantly. That's why they lay eggs like no one's business. Right? They just sit on the tray there at the top and just lay eggs. It's on the sponsor.
One and get tambo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to just
Snap like that.
that doesn't
It's hard. You don't even
even need tambo, like, you don't even
you
try,
don't
you don't even
bite through
attempt.
it.
You don't even
You don't
attempt
get to the
do it.
bone marrow.
You don't even attempt.
Now I know on a bone marrow, like it's all crumbled up here. Like how, bro?
Bona
How?
kanjalo,
Explain
bro.
that to me, bro. How?
Ulab to that. You know what I mean?
Every long did I hear that word.
So, for sure.
Yeah, but it's part of their business. I mean, like what you were saying, that when
demand.
you come from home where everything like you see the processes of how it's done, and then you get here and then you consume these products and you're like, it's the same thing, but you don't know what's there.
Yeah, they tell
I mean,
you.
if ever you're gonna be consuming cereals that are gonna cut off your attention span, or that have saturated sugars that are gonna make you so hyperactive that you can't sit in one place, that benefits the doctors that are gonna come and diagnose the kids that they have ADHD,
And then prescribe
and then
stuff to-
prescribe
It's not
substances.
even,
Falls
it's
into
not
the
even a real thing.
pharmacies.
It's not even a real thing. That ADHD.
Yeah.
Funu beto lo mntwana. You understand?
Take the kid off this sugar.
What
and-
they'll tell you is the kid is hyperactive, the kid is this, the kid is that. Akabeto, yay. Subenza le nto. You understand?
Dad.
Yeah, that's it. There's no ADHD there. You know what I'm saying?
And another thing is there's no HDHD in this sense that because it's been proven that, or it's been observed that young girls perform better than boys in a classroom, and then you get to see the nature of these genders. Boys just prefer in their nature to be out there to always
Yes.
play,
Yeah,
and they can't sit for 8
Especially,
hours
you
in
understand, yes,
one chair. So
yes.
you have to be like, we are those people who
But
are,
isn't that also like genetics?
yeah, it's part of that as well.
Genes,
So
yeah.
and then you take females who can like sit in one place for longer
for
hours,
longer.
and then you get to compare the two, and you get to see their nature. But then they'll come and say the young boys have ADHD now
yes.
because of their nature, which is something that's not even there.
Yeah, we were just supposed to make class more interesting, when as
As
To
the
accommodate the
yes,
natures
different
of both.
personalities.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it's quite interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, a lot has been said here. I don't know if there's any last words anyone would like to throw in closing.
Maybe your advice to people about.
Yeah, but most especially because my interest and concerns are about like the general public. We don't know how these things work. We don't have interest. There's already this stereotype about this product.
As a consumer.
Yeah. So how, as a consumer and as like a general person who maybe wants to tap into that business, how do you get into it? And yeah, like those type of things.
Now I'll try to answer it in like a few parts, but when it comes to like people who want to just learn about it, to understand it, there's books now that you can actually get, ebooks, that you can find on the subject to find, okay, cool. There's like we said, there's different categories. Yeah, there's CBD, there's THC. What is that? There's sativas, there's indicas,
Indicas, hybrids.
And honestly, smoking is not for everyone. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Not
true.
everyone is gonna enjoy the
Because
experience of
there's people
smoking.
that will
Yeah.
tell you they've had bad
You
experiences.
understand? Yeah.
yeah.
No, there's people who have bad, bad trips. Yeah. But they'll make it your fault. Like,
Yeah, like, oh, what did you put in there?
no, but like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So just learn, educate yourself as well. Like, okay, cool. Do I prefer indicas? Do I prefer because some dudes just some people just get weed off of someone and they smoke and even lalisa or whatever. So learn where you are. If you don't like smoking, there's oils, there's vapes, there's a bunch of stuff
That you
that
can
someone
test out.
that someone can try. Yeah. And that's for people who wanna join in or to get into the industry. Man, I don't know, like izoyangawe as well.
How you push it.
What you've noticed, you know what I'm saying? Now, what I saw is people don't know. People don't really know what's in
They're
these
not
bags.
informed.
Yeah, people aren't informed, you know what I'm saying? They just smoke it because it looks good or it looks...
Sure.
So I was like, nah, listen, that's why most of my clientele, I try and say, listen, learn, I use this more, leave that alone, you know what I mean? So yeah, just educate yourself now. The same with alcohol. There's things you won't drink.
Yeah.
As we say, this opera.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with this opera. But
just-
if someone puts this opera up on food, there's a reason why. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with cannabis. Just general education.
Yeah.
And you should be. It'll be okay. But have the passion for it as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't die. It shouldn't.
Have the passion for it. As
Actually, I remember, like for me, I wasn't cultivating. It was first year, 2015 or something. So what my reasons were, you know what, like I'm tired of like asking for money every time I'm out of money, you know. So I'm like, you know what, there's a plug I know that sells it in batches. So I'm just gonna buy those and then break them down into smaller batches and then push that just so that I can get by the month.
Yeah.
You know? So
And
that's
then-
what I
and
started doing.
You know what? A lot of, I'll say 90%
Do that.
of everyone. That's why.
That's how
That's basically why they,
Also
you know what I'm
do.
saying?
Yeah.
Nah, it wasn't even that. I had a job. And I was just curious. Like, okay, cool. When's it gonna do now? And then the more I learned, the more I was like, oh, okay, this thing has potential to become
something big.
huge. Yeah,
something
huge.
big.
You
I
can
think-
start an entire business. Off
Yeah,
of this thing.
off of just that.
You know what I mean? So that education aspect, like, you know, learn more about it.
And you were
It's
saying
not just the flour. It's not just the oils. Like we said, bricks, clothes,
everything else.
everything. It's all encompassing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You said that off cam, yeah?
He said it.
What
on-
about
Was it
bricks and
Yeah, he
clothes?
said. Yeah, he said it. Yeah.
It was here,
Yeah.
not off
Yeah.
cam.
No,
okay.
You were also mentioning like clientele. I feel like that's also another important part of like you booming.
Yes.
You know, like how then do you? Well, obviously we've established that you need to brand your stuff and set yourself apart, basically, just so that you can stand out.
Yeah.
Right? But based on my experience when I was trying to push, I was just pushing to
People
people.
you know,
yeah, like okay, I'll sell it to Ali and SK, just people that I go to class with, you know. But like expanding from that, just so that you know that okay, anyone can come knocking on my door.
Now, I discourage that. Like, I don't want people coming to my house.
Yeah.
Whatever. Me, I used festivals, concerts. Like, if I see, okay, there's gonna be a big something in Bram, I'll just make a few pre-rolls, take some flour so people can see what it is. Because what I found is when I take flour, like, you know, grab bags,
They don't have
they're like,
time.
I'm not really,
Yeah, they don't have time
I don't
for
have
it.
that. So I just make pre-rolls and just go out there and, you know, take my phone number. If you had a good time, you know, call me.
You hit me
I'll
up.
send you a menu or whatever. Like, there's a plethora of ways, yeah.
Yeah.
And someone can market
And
themselves.
then there's also the skepticism of pre-rolls, right? With now, okay, you're selling me this, but now I don't know what's in your
In there,
pre-roll.
yes,
Then
yes.
how do you then guarantee your clientele that nah?
I use flour. Like I tell people, I don't use shake. I don't use la way shake.
Yeah.
I use actual flour. I'll weigh a gram, grind it up, make the 10 joint or
whole
whatever I have to
blend.
make. Yeah. I use actual flour for my
Because
pre-rolls.
I think what people tend to then think is that because I haven't seen you roll it, I don't know what you put in there. You know,
Another thing that helps, tasting. Like grab it, you know,
try pulling.
suck on it. Yeah. What you get back is if it's a lighter, you know, you're getting light scent, you're getting asazi, then yeah. But if you're actually getting the full flavor profile of whatever it is, like kauta, like you can do it now. Just use off, but okay, it's fruity, it's
Is that sin?
then you know, okay, this is an actual pre-roll. There's nothing else in there, yeah. Because you know how weed smells most. You know how,
True.
That's one of the easiest ways I can suggest. But take it. If you're not happy, you're not gonna go to that person. again.
True.
You know what I mean? So
So
it's
the
not-
person's lost a customer.
You understand?
I think in trying to wrap it up, maybe bad trips. We can just talk of bad trips. If anyone has had a bad trip.
Bad
before,
trip.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a bad trip more than
Paranoia.
okay.
Let's say paranoia. Have you?
I've never had.
You've never-
I've never had that. That's why I was like, oh, this is actually not bad.
Is it?
Yeah,
You've
that's
never
why
been
I
paranoid?
favored this over alcohol. I was like, hey, ngathi ziyabuya.
Yeah.
Ngathi zibuya more this side.
And
than
then,
everything
yeah.
else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, I've never really had any bad experiences.
So the
with
experience you're about to talk about,
Ape.
Oh, now
Yeah,
before I
you-
say paranoia.
yeah, because you're gonna be like,
nah,
I
I got
wouldn't
people
call it a
who-
bad trip.
Let's say yeah, walala, like the whole day.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I wouldn't also consider
That's
that a bad
basically
trip.
because you didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
But what
Just
it's gonna
knocked
do
you
to
out.
you. Yeah, you know what I mean. Now, Kona, that's the person who sold it to you's fault. Right? Say when you need Lena, no work, no none of that.
Just
Yeah.
Essentially,
post up.
you're watching TV.
Kick
yeah,
your
you
feet
can
up
use
and
this.
relax.
You know what I mean? But I wouldn't that's more mushrooms or hallucinogens, like stuff like that.
Yeah, for bad
That's
trips.
where he does bad trips because they work differently, like completely.
Yeah.
Even with edibles.
Yeah.
That's where you
Yeah.
can say there's a bad trip with edibles because it's not really the same
Amounts.
chemical reaction
Yeah,
as you get from smoking.
Lighting it up.
Yeah, it's not the
Yeah,
same.
and for me as well, I don't think I've
never
had a
had a-
bad trip.
Nah,
Maybe
or
my
paranoia,
first time,
man.
but no paranoia, no.
You've never been
It was just
paranoid?
my first time, and just that experience that I'm not used to. But nothing crazy happened. I didn't see horses with milk.
You
Didn't
understand?
see any of that crazy
Yeah,
shit.
that's not a hallucination.
Bigfoot riding a unicorn.
Hey,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
we're not doing it. Never been paranoid. I mean, hallucinating would be probably taking it too far, but at least like being paranoid.
Yeah.
Next.
Next.
I think the only paranoid people will talk about is when you're walking down the street and you think everyone knows. you're
Yeah,
high.
yeah. That one. No good
But
thing,
now that's just being high. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I actually had one. It was. When was that? Was it during? Nah, it was before lockdown. It was either 2019 or 2020. So there's this guy I met. I was still in Pretoria at the time. I'd go to the nearby park and then I'd just chill there after gym. So this other guy, they were selling rolling papers.
Okay.
So they were making their own. So he was pushing them. I think it was House of. Fuck, I forgot the name. But the packaging was dope, you know. So okay, I started forming an acquaintance with the guy. Okay, now we start linking up every time I'm at the park. And then it was the next year. When the next year comes, he tells me, him and his friends just gonna post up by his place. I should come through. I'm like, alright, because I actually needed a bag at that time. I just came back, so I didn't know anyone. So I'm like, nah, no stress. I'll link up with you guys. And then we headed there. As we head there, we go get a bag, and then we just post up. I splomile, and then I roll it blunt. Well, I roll it well. I roll. And then it goes around, rotates. And then now that I'm chilling with people I don't know, dude. I'm like, nah, man. These people have ulterior motives, though. Hey, boy, I was on edge the whole time. And then this one guy, I think he had to leave.
Yeah.
So as he has to leave, he comes to me, he's like, yo, don't you have $20 there to spare? Don't. I need to go. I'm like, yo, the only cash I have now is for me to get back home. And then he's like, alright, nah, bet. And then him and the other guy, they stand there at the side, they're having their own chat. Like, hey, one of these niggas like talking, you know?
just
So
asking
yeah,
for
I'm
money
like
now.
super observant.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at everything, trying to put two and two together. At some point, I'm like, yo, gents, you know what? I think I'm gonna dip. Because they were like, nah, we'll take you home. I'm like, nah, I think I'm gonna, and it's in the complex. Boy, I had $10 left. I walked. Like immediately when I left the complex, I started running. I was wearing slippers. Started running, looking behind me. I'm thinking they'll come chasing after me. I run.
Nah, I think with some of it, man, there's pesticides that they use. Even some dudes are even scandalous. Like they'll literally spray brandy
Yeah.
on the weed to just give it a bit more of they think it gives them. That's why some weed like I have a headache.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's why I always tell people like it has to burn like white ashes. There mustn't be the black.
That black.
Nah.
Or
must
even
burn
if
white.
it the that fluid that comes in the back.
But hey, okay.
That's
true.
THC.
But that tar.
Yeah, that
it's more
tar. Yeah. Because normally
stuff is not-
it shouldn't really be coming out.
Shouldn't,
It
no.
shouldn't really be coming
Yeah.
out.
So some dudes, they do that. They'll spray chemicals on it, or
And you can
the way
smell
it's
some
grown.
like it's heavy. The chemical is heavy, bro. It even smells like oil or something.
Then that's
Yeah.
Some dudes they actually do that for potency reasons, and that's what might contribute to someone having.
Nah,
a bad-
I was paranoid that day,
Yeah.
bro. I was paranoid.
Yeah,
bro. I didn't even look back, man. I never hit that guy up. I literally deleted his number in the
Nah,
text.
you just
I'm
watch
like,
the ashes as
as it
if
burns
it's white
off.
ashes, you're okay. You know what I mean?
Nah, I deleted that guy's number. I never spoke to him ever since. I'm like, yo, I'm done with that guy. Nah. It was a cool gent. It's just that experience. I was like, nah.
Now, most of us are very social.
Yeah.
Back out from you don't really get one. But yeah, you just have to be careful. You should just watch. Like,
You know, Otherwise, it was a dope conversation, gents.
Yeah.
I think it was also informative.
Very.
You know, I think people can take what they want from the conversation we've actually unpacked.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again for joining us, dude.
Anytime, man.
Thanks, man.
It was definitely very
Thanks for
informative.
having me.